안녕하세요. 저는 Amy입니다. 저는 최덕입니다.
Sastrikali, Stephen G, Choi-Min-jun,
And we're back doing another review. It's called The Tale of the Nine-Tailed. Like always, we're going to be going off Asian Wiki and saying the synopsis and then talking a little bit about it. Favourite characters, favourite parts of it and everything.
From this point, beware spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back and watch this video. So Lee Yon, who is played by Elon Wook, was once the mountain spirit of
Baekdudaegan.
He sacrificed his life as a mountain god to resurrect the life of a woman he loved, Aum. Lee Yon now lives his life as a nine-tailed fox in human form. He has lived this way for hundreds of years. Meanwhile, Namjia Joboa works for a TVC station as a PD of documentaries. She seeks out stories on the supernatural. Back in 1999, her parents were involved in a car accident in Yogoge. She remembers the man that saved her in that accident. Now Nam Jia reviews CCTV footage from a wedding hall where the bride disappeared. She sees the man that saved her as a child walking out of the wedding wall with a red umbrella. His name is Eon.
I really like this drama. I love Elon Wook so much. Obviously, we both do. But yes, I really like this. It still had the little bits of like the mystic angle to it, being the nine-tailed fox. Or it does have like the mystical like power. It also, yes, like it also had Harrison's 2 Goblin. Because there was like the Reapers and there was all of this as well, which is hilarious because we all know that Elon Wook played the Grim Reaper in Goblin. It was like a really good paced drama.
We watched it really quickly though.
Yeah, again, it was a quick watch for us rather than
some others.
the one before, which took Stephen months. I really, really liked it. I got really, really excited when you see his little brother for the first time because it is Kim Bum, and if you are a K-drama addict like I am and you've watched the older ones, he was in Boys Over Flowers and I freaked out. Like he was like scared that something had happened because I was like, oh my god, it's him. I love him so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of characters, let's go through them. Main cast:
Elon Wook, who played Eon. Joboa
played Namjia.
Kim Bom, who played Irang. Hwang Hee, who played Gu Shinju. Kim Jang-nan, Talupia. An Kil-kang, who played
Hui-yong.
Om Hyo-sop, who played Kwon
Hae-rong,
Lee Tae-ri, who played Imuji,
which is like the serpent. Kim Young-ji plays Ki-yuri. So there are other ones, but they're like the main people that you see more of. I really, really like this drama. There was lots of little like interesting bits.
So many scenes that I want to extend on in the drama, and I want to know more about that. It made you want to watch more.
It's one of the dramas that you're like, where is season 2? Because look, the way that it left off, it still has a lot to go on. But it also... It was a bit of a... Characters...
It was a lie at the end. It was a lie.
A lie?
He said, oh, I'm human now. I can't do anything.
But we don't know about that. You see, that's the thing. The ending...
was a lie.
Is very... do I say this with you?
Lie.
Do I say this with you? Okay, I'm not going to say which drama. If you know the drama, you will know. But it's a very similar ending to another drama that I really, really like. That the final ending scene is a bit like, wait, what? But I thought that wasn't possible.
That's what happens.
That makes me think
lied.
that makes me think that they could potentially do a season 2. But I also know that majority of K-dramas do not do season 2s. Two other dramas that kind of end with a wait, what kind of moment. Neither of them have season 2s.
Hotel Delina.
Okay, 3. So there are so many good characters, there's so many good plot points and story points and character development as well. Kim Bom's character.
Yeah, he changed so much.
He had one of the biggest character developments. And like, so the first second that I saw him, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. yes, I love this guy. I love his character in Boys Over Flowers. He's like, he's one of my OG actors because he was in one of the first K-dramas that I ever saw. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love him, I love him, I love him. And then he started doing things and I'm like, what kind of character are you? Like, you're a horrible, horrible person. Why would you do this? Why would you do these things? And then every so often he has these moments or does these things and I'm like, no, but you are good. Like, you are a sweet character. But then why did you go and do this? Why are you doing... What is this?
Yeah.
And, like, his whole story, when you find out about, like, his mother...
I think the pivotal
abandoning him...
I think one of the pivotal points for his change in development as a character was when he realised with the glasses... With the kid.
That was the definite kind of, like, point... Because, like, the whole, like, you find out he's half fox, half human. His mother abandoned him. Everyone hated him in the village. His mother tried to kill him, basically. And then his older brother, Eon, saved him and looked after him and took care of him and did all of this. And then he ended up, well, he thought he was abandoning him because he chose this human woman that he fell in love with over him. And then... you find out that they had, like, a massive fight thing, and he's like, he tried to kill me, he doesn't love me anymore, stuff this. Like, that was, like, a whole, like, downward spiral for him, which he's been living like that, thinking that his brother hates him and that all of this stuff for centuries. Like, it's so long he's been living like this. You slowly see him, like, opening up to different characters, like Kiyuri, who is like, his... assistant, basically, but you can tell that there's
he rescued her.
Yeah, like, you can tell that there is a love between them and, like, an understanding, and, like, that's the closest thing that both of them really have to family. And you see that with the actions that he takes for her and she takes for him, which is just so beautiful. And then that was, like, with the child, with the little boy, that was, like, the massive turning point. But, like, the little bit of a turning point right before that was when he got the glasses, because he had to give something, like, the most important thing to him, which he then was like, oh, it can't be my brother. I hate my brother. He hates me. He's not important to me. And then he realizes that his brother is the most important thing to him. So I think in that moment, he's kind of like, you see this kind of, like, guilt that he kind of just, like, suppresses. But then with the glasses, the brow glasses, tiger brow glasses, where you can see, like, the past life, this little boy who he's kind of encountered a few times, Eon encountered once, kind of just follows him around. And he's like, what even is this? Like, get lost. And he realizes that in the kid's past life, he was his puppy, who we then see flashbacks of Eon gave him this puppy to take care of and look after and love, and he loved this puppy, like, more than anything, and the puppy ends up dying. Another, like, a huge point in the drama and in his kind of story where you as the viewer see what he's been through and how he got to where he is. Throughout it, he has, like, these moments of, I can trust my brother again, and he's back in my life and we're on good terms, but then no, he's choosing someone else over me again. And he's got, like, this guy in his head going, like, I saved you, you owe me one, because again with the foxes, they need to repay favors. So this guy had saved his life and he's like, no, you owe me one, but I'm gonna keep it until I need it. So in a lot of the things that Irang Kumbom's character is doing, it's because of the situation and the manipulation and everything. We then have the main character, Dia, who, like, it starts off when you're seeing her as a child. You see her in the car accident with her parents. It's really interesting. Like, it sucks you in so much in the beginning part of the first episode, because you're like, it feels weird, and you're along with her being like, but we just saw the car accident and now she's back at home with the parents. But then it all kind of seems a little bit off. And she's like so smart.
Yeah.
Whole scene, she's basically like, oh, like, I don't think these are my real parents. Like, this can't be right. What's happening? Was it a dream? Was it not a dream? But there's blood, but there's this, and then there's this. And so she kind of just goes to the mum. I want walnut cake. Can you get me some? She's like, oh, yeah, sure. Looking in the kitchen going, oh, I'm not sure where we put it. I don't think we have any. And she's just like,
you're not my mum.
you're not my mum. I'm allergic to nuts.
I know this because you're a doctor.
Yeah, so her mum is a doctor and all of this. But that whole thing as well, I just love how they spent the time on it. They spent time on every one of like the main characters. Enough that we know where they're coming from. We know about at least this important part of their past, of how they got to where they are. And not a lot of dramas actually do that. Like they pretty much are like everything on the main couple, the leads, and their immediate like parent who's trying to break them up, or their immediate best friend who's like all of this. And there's like side characters or side couples where it's like, oh, we'll like spend a couple minutes on them.
Yeah.
They're not really that important, which is really frustrating.
We got to see a major development from one of the side couples in this drama, Kiyuri and
Shinju. Yeah.
You know, you get to watch them, spoiler, get married.
You get to see you basically get to see their entire relationship from when they first meet, and they're like flirting, and they're both like, oh, I kind of like them, but I don't know much about them. And then you get to see both of them having the realization that they're falling in love with each other, and then how they get from that point to the next point, and then from that point to the next point, and then from that point to the next point. And by the end of it, you're like, they're a real family.
Yeah.
And they kind of adopt the little boy.
Yeah.
After, again, Irang has a turning point of going, I'm saving this kid. He's been through so much crap. His stepdad is abusive. Yeah. And he ends up killing him. He kind of adopts the kid, and then the kid kind of, like, he ends up with 3 parents, basically. Yeah. He ends up with Irang, with Yuri, and Shinju as his parents, and they're all like a family. And I love the ending of like the last episode with the scenes in that, when you're like, oh, they're moving in together, married couple, happy life, happy all of this. And it's just like, why is Irang moving in with us? Why is the kid moving in with us? And she's like, oh, we're a package deal. And he's like,
oh, he bought this. Okay, he can stay.
yeah. Oh, he's buying food. We're cool now. You see it, and right near the end, when that was so sad, when Irang basically sacrifices himself for his brother after the previous episode. That whole thing of, because there's this serpent. There's this serpent who's like the bad person. He gets reborn, and you're like, this one guy, this is the serpent. So but the whole thing of him growing up really quickly, which you see because of everything, it doesn't seem as bad as what people are saying. Yeah. Because when he was a little kid, he saved the bird, and he did this, and he basically was doing all of this so he could survive. And the whole thing, you're like, oh, he's not that bad. But then when he turns into like a young adult, you're like, you little tong. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do all of this? And then you're like, but then he falls in love with Dia, and you're like, this is a really interesting look at what's happening, because he's the bad guy who is in charge of the other bad guy, but is the other bad guy, and it's like a whole kind of like a mixture of different. You're not really sure who's in charge. Like, he's in charge, but is he in charge? Once everything is figured out, Serpent has a second part of himself. Dual personality, and like the more evil part of it is in someone else. That whole dynamic, like, split second changes. And all of the relationships in the entire drama that we've been watching change. It was so precise, so split change, so, oh my gosh. And then everyone kind of went, we had a plan, and now that's out the window.
Who did you hate the most in this drama?
Kwon Hae-rong. I hated him the most because... but I also felt a little bit sorry for him because he was manipulated.
He gets what he deserves.
Yes. Kind of manipulated into devoting himself to the serpent. So many times when he decided to do that, he could have stopped. He looked after the serpent. He did all of this. He was behind a lot of the went on. But you kind of feel a bit sorry for him, but then you're like, no, you're still willing to kill everyone just to get the plant back.
It absorbs the souls of people to give you longevity in life.
And he's willing to kill everyone for this so he can live forever. And he's like, I did this so I could live longer, so I could protect my family. What did the serpent take? He took my family. He killed my mother. He killed my wife. He killed my kids. I had mixed feelings about the serpent, Imugi. What is it? Imugi? Because he's cute. He's evil. Like, he was so manipulative and evil, but you could see these little parts of him that was, because it wasn't the entire being, that you're like, maybe he can redeem himself. Near the end, when he just did that with like the goddess of death and all of this,
Turn her to stone.
Yeah. Took on the appearance that would hurt her the most, which was her son who committed suicide and died. I was like, that is so beyond cruel and terrible and horrible, and I hate you. So it was really confusing to him. My favorite character was Lang. Not just because it's Kim Bom, but because he had the most development. The last scenes of him was so sad, but he ended up saving his brother after practically killing him to save the world. Ended up sacrificing himself. Before, you didn't love anyone, you had no meaning, you wanted to die, so what is this? But by the end of it, he's literally found himself a family.
Yeah. And
he's so happy. Yeah, I really love Lang, and I love his character development, and I would definitely watch this drama again. So who did you hate the most?
I mean, I've pretty much got to agree with you. You know, you take him out, most of the problems that happened, he was the major force behind all those problems. So he's basically the biggest bad guy in this whole entire show. Yes, there's more powerful, eviler guys than him, but he's the major cause for those evils. So then who's your favourite character? That's tough for this drama. I found there was so many developments to Lupia. She even had major development. You know, you go from seeing why she is like she is to going, stuff it, I'm going to break the rules. Because she chose not to do it before. Yeah. And she saw the consequences of not doing it before. It was like, look, one of them has to die, one of them will die, so for the serpent, so I'm going to fast track it and kill this woman to save him. So she was only going, I'm going to save him, which is probably what she wanted, which is what she wanted to do with her son. I'm saving my son and the rest of the world by killing his wife. Yeah. By helping kill his wife, basically. Yeah. And he sees all of this and he's like, no, but that's the reason that we lost our son. Yeah. It's because he lost his wife. Eon has been working with us because he sacrificed his life, basically, as a deity. Because he lost this woman. It almost destroyed him. Yeah. He's now finally found the reincarnation of her, which he's been waiting for millennia, basically. And you want to kill her. That's going to destroy him. And we're going to lose him just the same way. It's a kind of a tie between my two favourite characters, which were Eon Wook and Gu Shinju. I love Shinju as well. He never changed. He never wavered. He was... No matter how much threat or how much crap he was put under, he stayed the same. When the serpent was in his face, he stood his ground. When Rung was in his face, he stood his ground. You know, he went through so much for Eon and still never wavered. you know, he was scared and terrified, but
he knew what was right. He knew what he was willing to protect, and he on every occasion
and the fact
was
that he could
so
talk to
willing.
animals, that was
on every single occasion. He was more than willing to sacrifice his life for the ones that he loved and the good and what he wanted to protect.
And with Eon, he
went through so much.
He was the
because of Serpent.
He was basically like a silent hero. He was just protecting people his way. Someone who can protect someone, use the powers the way he does. He knows the rules. He knows where he can bend them. You know, sometimes he breaks the rules to protect.
But it's to protect.
To protect.
To protect what he loves. He never went out and unnecessarily killed someone or unnecessarily harmed them.
Yeah. So those two combined were probably my two favourite characters. I couldn't split the hairs between them.
I loved, like, almost all of the characters in this. I highly recommend it. It will be one that I will go back and rewatch. That is it for this review. If you have seen this drama, let us know who your favourite character is, what you thought of it. That is it for this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, press the thumbs up button, leave us comments down below, share this on social media if you'd like to. All of my social media links down below, so go check me out, follow me on all of those. If you'd like to leave any requests or suggestions for more videos that you'd like to see on my channel, then please leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. That is it for this video, and we will talk to you very, very soon.
Yes.
Kirby face. Annyeong.
Annyeong.